And so if you're going to carry it, you're going to go to the lengths to get the right gun, get the right holster, and get the right belt, and commit to carrying it every day. And you're carrying it with one in the chamber. And you have the ability to take a life, and you have the ability to save a life. You better know how to use that gun. All right, welcome back everybody, and today we are talking concealed carry. We're talking mistakes that both the new shooter and the seasoned veteran can make carrying concealed. And these are mistakes that will get you killed. This is not hype, this is just simply the truth. It's 2024 and you need to be carrying a gun every day, and you need to be carrying that gun everywhere that you go. And if you're in doubt about that, just start looking around, looking at the headlines. It's kind of the calm before the storm, some people are saying. It is an election year, and things are going to ramp up, and so you're going to increase your odds of needing your everyday carry items to help you in a situation. And you know what I'm talking about, because all these calibers are faster than dialing 911. I'll link this t-shirt down in the description below, but let's get right into it. The number one deadly mistake that people make concerning concealed carry is not carrying your gun. You have to carry a gun. I don't know how many people I've talked to over the years that they got a holster, they got a belt, they got the hottest new gun, and they don't carry it. You can't use it if you don't carry it. And so, number one, carry your gun and carry it everywhere. I would carry in the shower if I could, honestly. But you need to carry your gun, and you need to carry it everywhere you go. You say, hey, well, what about those states with gun-free zones or the signs asking me not to carry? Well, I'll leave that decision up to you. But honestly, if I'm going to take my gun off, then I don't need to go to that business or that establishment that wants me to take it off. They don't need my business anyway. So number one, carry your gun. Because if you don't carry it, you can't defend yourself and you can't defend those you love. Number two, and this goes without saying, but some people are still debating it, carry your gun with a round in the chamber. Your gun doesn't do you any good unless it'll actually go bang when you need it to go bang. And so carry one with a round in the chamber. You say, Anthony, man, I'm scared. I'm worried about a negligent discharge. I'm worried about an accidental discharge. Well, I'm going to tell you something to do. And this information is going to go along with your holster and your belt and everything else, the way you would carry. So first of all, you need to be set up to carry. But if you're worried about carrying with one in the chamber, and I get it, there are some people worried out there, and that's okay. Be worried, but be smart. Let the truth be on your side. Learn your gun, know how it functions, look up how your gun actually functions, look up the safety mechanisms inside it. This is a Glock, and everybody thinks Glocks are unsafe, but it actually has 3 safeties. And if you haven't seen the video I've done on Glock being the king of concealed carry, I'm going to link it right here so you can go check that out. But one thing you can do, make sure it is visually and physically inspected as unloaded. Get your setup on, put your gun in your holster, and try to introduce a negligent discharge. Try and make that trigger go off with holstering, bending, walking around. Carry it for days like that, clear, in a safe condition, and convince yourself that that gun is not going to go off unless you actually introduce something into the holster that squeezes the trigger, or you physically squeeze the trigger. So convince yourself. Know your gun and convince yourself. You know, knowledge is power, and you want to have knowledge about your gun and how it works, and you want to be absolutely sure, no, this gun is not going to go off. Every time I stick this gun into my holster, I know it's not going to go off. Because I look this gun into my holster, I make sure the holster is clear before I stick the gun in there. I make sure my shirt or any other garment I'm wearing or anything that I have on, even when I'm filming, I make sure the microphone wire is not down in there, and I insert the gun into the holster knowing that it's going to ride down the trigger guard, and it's going to ride down the kydex, and it's not going to come anywhere near the actual trigger itself, and it is not going to go off by itself. So, knowledge is power, but carry a gun with one in the chamber. In fact, I'm going to put one back in the chamber right now because I took one out. So, because yes, even filming at my house, I want to have one in the chamber and ready to go, especially at my house. All right, deadly mistake number 3, inaccessible carry. Some people carry their guns so concealed they can't even get to it if they needed to get to it. It's down deep inside their waistband in some FBI secret holster that nobody can get to. Maybe it's down around their ankle and they couldn't get to it if they wanted to get to it. Or maybe it is shoved in a bag somewhere where they can't get to it. Your gun has to be accessible when you need it, and it needs to be readily accessible where you can get a full firing grip on it. I'm going to show you on my waistband what I'm talking about. If you see right here the orientation of that gun, I can sink my hand down it. I can get all my fingers down around that gun and draw it out immediately. And so you want accessible carry. Not only do you want it accessible on your person, but you want it readily accessible right into a full firing grip so you can get your hand in the position it needs to be in a split second, less than a second, to draw that gun and put that gun into the fight if you need it to go into a fight. So, accessible carry. Make sure your gun is accessible. Do not make the deadly mistake of inaccessible carry. That's number 3. All right, deadly mistake number 4, you buy and carry the wrong gun. What do I mean by the wrong gun? Well, there is a gun that you need to carry. If you haven't seen the video I've done on the gun that you need to buy, I'm going to link it right up here, and it's not the video that you're thinking about where I'm telling you about the new hottest gun. No, I talk about reliability, size, shape, fit, caliber, and capacity, and all the things that you need to go into a concealed carry gun that you can bet your life on and that you can trust your life to defend yourself. So don't carry the wrong gun. Make sure you carry the gun that is actually reliable. It all hinges on reliability because you need that gun to go bang when you need to employ that gun. So check that video out right up here and it will let you know what gun that you actually need to carry for you. Yes, for your unique situation. So that's number 4. Don't carry the wrong gun. Right along with that, deadly mistake number 5, you carry the wrong holster. You go through all the trouble to find the right gun, then you need the right holster to carry with that gun. What do I mean by it? Well, you can have a reliable gun and an unreliable holster. You can have a holster, again, that does not function properly. It may hold it in position on your body, but it may hold it flimsily on your body where you cannot get a full firing grip on it. So it needs to be a rigid enough holster and a well-built enough holster that it stays in place so that when you need it and you go to get it, every time it's predictable. It's right there. So when you train that way, you can actually fight that way. So you need the right holster, not only from a reliability standpoint, but from a durability standpoint and from a comfort standpoint. And I've been through all the holsters over the years. And I've finally settled on that. Anything I show you here that is out there, there will be a link down in the description below. This is the Max IWB. I'll link it down in the description below, or you can see it right here. But you need to get the right gun and you need to get the right holster. And then I can make the argument for your belt. Again, I've had all the different belts, the ratchet belts, and all the dress belts that are gun belts, the leather belts that are gun belts. And I settled on this. This is the Edge by Tactipac. Again, I'll leave a link down in the description below. So this is deadly mistake number 6. Don't get the wrong belt to carry the wrong holster and carry the wrong gun. You want the right gun, the right holster, and the right belt. And the belt is just as important as those because it holds it to your body. It interfaces that holster with the gun and interfaces the holster with your body. It is the go-between, the link. It needs to be rigid enough and durable enough to hold up like a gun belt, but it also needs to be comfortable. It needs to be as lightweight as possible, and it needs to function the way it needs to function to save your life. Most people don't think about their belts as a life-saving piece of equipment, but it is. So don't make deadly mistake number 6 and use the wrong belt. Get the right belt. All right, and that leads me to deadly mistake number 7. You can have all that gear and all that equipment, but you don't know how to use it. Get training. You can train on your own, and there are reliable people on the internet that you can emulate, that you can learn from. But you better pick and choose wisely. You need real training, training that's going to teach you how to shoot under duress, training that is set in your mind that you can repeat when you need to repeat it, so that you can acquire the skills necessary to save your life or save the life of someone you love. Using a firearm for self-defense is no easy task, and it takes practice. Practice upon practice upon practice. And so if you're going to carry it, and you're going to go to the lengths to get the right gun, get the right holster, and get the right belt, and commit to carrying it every day, and you're carrying it with one in the chamber, and you have the ability to take a life, and you have the ability to save a life, you better know how to use that gun. So get training. It goes without saying. Train. So deadly mistake number 7, make sure you get training. Don't go without training on how to use your gun, please. All right, deadly mistake number 8 is paranoia. And what do I mean by paranoia? You're paranoid about printing. You're paranoid somebody's going to see that you're carrying a gun. You're paranoid that you're carrying the gun where you're not supposed to carry it. Paranoia. Don't suffer from paranoia. It'll make you freeze in the moment of truth when you need to actually use your gun. Be confident in your gun. Be confident in your setup. Be confident that no one is looking to assess you on a daily basis. I shouldn't say no one. Most everyone is not looking to see if you have a gun on. And if they are looking to see if you have a gun on, chances are they're a good guy carrying a gun anyway. I know I do that. You probably do that in the grocery store. You say, oh, look, he's carrying at 4 o'clock. Oh, he's carrying in the appendix position. And we do that sometimes. But people who don't carry guns, they're not looking to see if you're carrying a gun. They're not noticing every little mark under your t-shirt. They're just not noticing it. Now be smart when you carry. You don't want to inadvertently just have your shirt go up and everybody sees your gun, or you don't want your shirt to get stuck on the handle of your gun when you bend over. So be smart with your movements and train yourself how to move with a gun on to where you don't print, but don't suffer from paranoia. Don't think about it too much or be overly worried that everybody is inspecting you with x-ray vision and they know that you're carrying a gun. So don't suffer from deadly mistake number 8, paranoia, because it will mentally mess with your mind. You need to be mentally prepared when you go out for the day to defend yourself and take action if necessary. All right, moving on to number 9. Deadly mistake number 9 is cool gun syndrome. You go out, you buy that new gun to carry, and then the first thing you want to do is go out and buy the next cool gun to replace this cool gun because this one's not cool enough. I don't know how many times I have to tell people, and I have to remind myself, because I like guns. I like buying guns. But I stick to one platform for my carry. And if I'm going to change carry guns, it's going through training with me. It's going through another 500 round reliability test all in one sitting, 500 rounds. And then I'm going to know that gun backward and forward before I actually carry it. I'm going to know that it goes bang when I need it to go bang. And so the reliability factors into carry one platform. If you have 3 Glocks and they're identical basically in size and shape roughly, and you know each one of them are reliable, that particular unit, then yeah, you can interchange those. But if you have a Glock and then you have a SIG and then you have Smith & Wesson and they have different controls on them, the external safeties, or the mag release is in a different position, or the ergonomics of those guns are different, they function differently, then you know what? You need to make sure that you train on that gun and repetitively train on that gun. So I am a big fan and a big teacher of train with one gun and carry that one gun. You can go get all the cool guns on the market and shoot them leisurely, keep them in your safe, but don't keep alternating guns that you don't know how to autonomically operate that gun when you need to operate it. It needs to be second nature. And so you have to be intimately familiar with that gun to operate it. So one platform. Don't make deadly mistake number 9 and have cool gun syndrome and you got to go out and get the next cool gun. And number 9 goes into number 10. And it's probably the one that we see the most, that we suffer from the most. Deadly mistake number 10 is aftermarket mania. And what do I mean by that? You go out and get a gun and then immediately, before you even shoot it, you want to go out and get a light, a laser, an optic, suppressor height sights, a threaded barrel, all the cool gear out on the market, grips, triggers. The list goes on and on and on and on. And I see people all the time, that's what they do. I got this gun. Hey, what do you recommend I go put on it? I don't recommend you put anything on it. I recommend you take that to the range immediately and shoot 500 rounds through it to make sure it's reliable. And then consider your life, consider how you live, and see what you might need on it. And don't put anything on it that is not added value for self-defense if you're going to carry that gun. Again, you can have those other guns in the safe, put the toys on it, put all the optics on it you want to. But your carry gun, mine still has stock sights, and I've got a red dot on it because it's the MOS version. And that's all I have. Stock trigger, stock magazines, stock everything. Because that's what I want, stock everything. I want this gun to go bang, and I don't need all these other distractions. And then the only other thing I carry is an extra magazine as well. So my gun, my extra magazine, and that's it. I'm ready to go for the day. So, 10 deadly mistakes. Don't make them. Go through this list, share this list with other people that you know. If you would like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so that you get notified every time I put out new content like this. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for making the choice to defend yourself and those you love, and God bless you and yours.